right, good morning, everyone. Welcome back. I meant to, mention this the other day, but just remember, I did drop a tweet this morning. If you're here from Twitter, welcome. I saw a few people saying, where did pre-market prep go? For what it's worth, I've been here every day. Well, I did miss a day last week because of a storm, but and remember, we knew this was coming, but Twitter did deprecate Periscope. So if you're here from Twitter, welcome aboard. I'll be here every day, 8:30. Facebook still works, obviously. Instagram still works, so you can kind of pick your favorite. But again, welcome all Twitter peeps. And as always, drop your comments in your associated chat, whether you're on Instagram, Facebook, or YouTube, and I will answer as many questions as I can as in the time allotted. Right off the bat, NAOV was probably a little bit slower day yesterday, but NAOV was probably the best morning mover, and a bunch of you did really well. Got several DMs, some emails. Well done. I mean, flat out. It was kind of the best of a okay crap of crap. How was that for a Freudian slip? I meant to say crop. An okay crop of stocks. Meanwhile, my brain inserted crap because most of the setups yesterday were pretty crappy. Well done! Would that be like my amygdala? What's like, that's like the lizard brain. That little peanut, like at the base of your skull, dropped in crap. But anyway, well done, many of you on NAOV. I would not say it was like an ideal setup, but it was kind of the best we had yesterday. That being said, a little bit frothier this morning. Listen, we talked about it yesterday. I won't recap it. Really felt like the market was in a wait and see mood yesterday morning. A lot of what I talked about was being very selective. Feels like we got a little bit of frothiness back. That being said, my number one would be NAOV over 4 risk on VWAP. As of now, number one as of 8:33 a.m. Oops. Rips through 4 risk on VWAP. They dropped earnings last night. It's a joke. I love it. We increased our revenues 20% to $318,000. Oh, I love it. 318,000 in revs, and they got a $90 million market cap. Love it. Love sketchy penny stocks. So anyway, that'd be my number one as of right now. Edison asks about LMFA, and I believe I have to sneeze. Wait for it. No! I defeated the sneeze. So anyway, live TV. Live streaming TV. That shows how old I am. So Edison asked about LMFA. Speaking of earnings winners, they dropped earnings last night. Very similar chart pattern to what we look for. I would look for breaks of 625, probably risk on 575. Might sound like, so let me write that down. You might be like, whoa, 50 cents a room on this thing, Tim? Whoa, I don't know about that. But here's the thing. This is a 5 million. Well, let me write this down. Breaks of 625. Let me explain. Risk on 575 VWAP area. Now, you might say, "Whoa, that's a lot of room for a sketchy penny stock." I get where you're coming from, and if you said that, well done. I respect you for that. But what you got to understand is you got a 5 million floater here with a history of huge moves, okay? So we're just looking at the one-day chart here. Back in September, 2 to 6. Back in January, 4 to 12. And then next day, all the way up to 19. A day in February, 10 10 to 16. I mean, look at all these big candles, big wicks as recently as July 3 to 8. Okay? So, now understand, if you're given 50 cents of risk, you got to be positioned properly. Okay? If you're not willing to lose $500, you can't have 1,000 shares. Okay? So, I mean, you guys, listen, if you don't understand that, I almost feel like, I mean, I know we got newbies here. I almost feel like I shouldn't have to go over this, because if you don't understand the absolute basics of risk management, please stay so far away from stuff like LMFA. Anyway, the point is, if you're not willing to risk $500, don't have 1,000 shares. Have 100 shares. That means if you lose $50. But if this thing puts in a multi-dollar move like it has in the past, and you got 50 shares, I mean, hey, maybe you catch $3 a share. You know, if you got a really small account, $150 payday, you know, with $50 of risk, you know, that's that 3-to-1 risk to reward methodology we talk about. So, again, I get it. You're right. And if you called me out on that, well done. I mean, 50 cents, a lot of room. But look at the chart. Understand. And again, I'm not saying this thing's going to 19 today, but the chart tells us the potential of what the stock can do. History doesn't repeat, but it rhymes. You can't have a 10-cent stop on. I mean, if you want a 10-cent stop on LMFA, don't trade it. It's too tight. It's a 5 million floater with a history of big moves. You're going to get stopped. So, detailed discussion of using the chart and past ranges to determine stops with risk management. Of course, I know it's social media, so it's like nobody has any risk management. Probably, once I started talking about risk management, I should look at the traffic stats. Probably like once I started talking about risk management, probably like half the people dropped off. So anyway, Danny asking about HPIL. That's last night's OTC gapper. You know, I know normally I kind of blow past the OTCs, but this is like it was the only OTC gapper setup yesterday. So Danny, I do like it. It closed nicely last night. Remember, what's our 3 different approaches to an OTC gap? To any OTCs. Excuse me. If you took the gap, number 1, first rule of trading OTCs. If you took the gap, sell the gap. Number 2, look for morning panic dip buys. Number 3, if you're not in it, if you're not in this, well, let me back up. If you're in it, sell the gap. If you're not in it, wait for a morning panic dip buy. If you don't get a morning panic dip buy, wait for an afternoon OTC swizzle, which would be a repeat of yesterday's action. Scott asks about BHG. What is BHG? Boring. Oh. So, this is the classic hide your kids, hide your wife kind of chart. So, I don't know. You know, listen, I love you all. But I don't know why you're trying to go dumpster diving. Okay? Listen, I know yesterday was a little bit slower. But it's still the post-2020 world. We still have a ton of runners. I had 90 stocks on the breakout scan yesterday. Why? Why do people want to dumpster dive? This chart is telling you all you need to know. All this stock does is go lower, and when it does bounce, it fades the next day. So, I mean, listen, I love you, but go dumpster dive behind McDonald's. Maybe you might, don't they have to like throw out the Big Macs every hour or so? Okay? If you time it right, maybe you'll get a kind of warm Big Mac behind the McDonald's. Just camp out. Wait for him to come out the back door. I think they gotta. I mean, I've never worked at McDonald's, but don't they have to like throw the stuff away every so often? Go camp out McDonald's. Wait for a warm Big Mac. It's way better than BHG. Nicholas asked about LMFA. We already talked about it. Michael asked about BON. And I can't tell you, evidently. BON, Bond Natural Life Limited. 5 million floater, just dropped a PR. What do these guys do? Consumer packaged goods. So it's China. Is this like Chinese health food? Ugh. Nice webpage. Come on. Products. What do these guys do? Bioactive. Is this like essential oils? I mean, it's China. So, all right. I mean, it's a 5 million floater and they got a press release, but it's China related and it might be essential oils. Short it. Short it with risk on HOD. Bond. Sketch. Health food. Essential oil. China stock. Oh my God. Michael, I appreciate you for haunting my nightmares tonight with this stock. Rosanna also about Cone, COHN. So we got a Scamex, low floater, one and done's dead. PBTS, Holly, is PBTS back? PBTS ran a week or so ago. Ooh, nice. So thank you. Good one to finish on. Thank you, Holland. I did not realize PBTS was back. So, ooh. Oh, yes. They dropped a Bitcoin crypto PR. Well done. Did they drop it at 8:30? 6 a.m. Oh, come on. Come on, Power Bridge. Too early. So PBTS, if this fails to dip and rip, I want you to call up the investor relations department at Power Bridge and tell them the rules of low flow penny stocks. Okay? You call them up, you ask for the head of IR, investor relations, and you explain to them when you are a sketchy low float stock, you drop your press release at 8:30 p.m. or 8:30 a.m. Eastern. It gets you a much higher likelihood that the short bros are going to short it. It increases the likelihood that the chat is going to pump it at 9 a.m. You need to understand the rules of the game, PBTS. Call their investor. Be polite. Be polite. I don't want you to be rude to them. But explain to them, if you're going to be a sketchy low float penny stock, you need to play the rules by the rules. Ha! Well done, Tim. Anyway, post 9:45 dip and rip. But I would wait till 9:45 because they dropped the PR too early. So PBTS post 9:45 dip and rip. All right, my friends, have a great day. Again, new podcast dropped. Go to steadytrade.com, or you can search for it on iTunes, Android Play, blah, blah, blah. I think we should be on Spotify, or you can go to the YouTube. But, yeah, have a great day, my friends, and we will see you next time.